The Toronto Raptors are finalizing a trade to send OG Anunoby to the Knicks. That's according to an ESPN report, with Toronto getting RJ Barrett and Immanuel Quickley in return. As an elite defender, Anunoby is averaging 15 points a game this season. Meanwhile, Barrett averaging 18, but shooting only 33 from three-point range for the Knicks, who are currently 7th in the Eastern Conference standing. So taking a look at the full reported trade details, this is what we know so far, as these teams will look a lot different when they take the court against their respective opponents later this evening. Let's get some reaction to this blockbuster trade happening on a Saturday afternoon, Avery. No slow days in the NBA. Let's talk about the Raptors first, who currently sit in 12th place in the Eastern Conference standings. They only have 12 wins on the year. I'd like to know your reaction to this trade and how much it will impact that win total going forward.
Well, for the Raptors first, when you get an RJ Barrett specifically back in this trade, he's a Canadian. He's a homegrown guy. I think that'll help them, with ticket sales, because a lot of the folks in Toronto really respect him. He's done a terrific job overall in New York. So he gets a chance to go back home. Quickley is a guy that can score the ball off the bench. He never really seemed to have fit in the Knicks' long-term plans. He's had his moments coming off the bench, but specifically with RJ Barrett, he gets a chance to go back home, play in front of his family and a lot of the Raptors fans that's been following him throughout his entire NBA career.
There you see the tweet from Immanuel Quickley saying, oh my goodness, reacting to the news that he's also got a new home, so he leaves the Knicks behind. So Avery, let's talk about the Knicks. They're 17-14, closing out the year tonight against the Pacers. I mentioned it earlier, they're number 7 in the conference, but needless to say, the lineup will look a little different now with New York going forward. What changes are you expecting in how the Knicks will play basketball now that this trade is shifting things around?
Well, obviously, as you alluded to with OG specifically, he's a second-team all-defensive player. He's an NBA champion. So you add an NBA champion to your lineup. He's a better fit next to Jalen Brunson. But also, there's sneakily, they added Precious Achiuwa to this deal. Remember, the Knicks lost Mitchell Robinson for the year with that injury. So now Precious is another guy that can protect the basket, give him more size inside. And then the reason why I really love this deal for the Knicks, they were able to keep all of their first-round draft picks. They added a second-round draft pick. So even if they need to make another comprehensive move before the trade deadline, maybe somebody like a Jordan Clarkson from the Utah Jazz to provide that scoring off the bench and that six-man.
East conversation, meaning the Eastern Conference Finals or further. So what do the Knicks need to do you think, to get to that upper echelon?
They need to trade for a superstar player. I think in the interim, they do a very good job of working Tom Thibodeau's system. Now, they've had a setback with Mitchell Robinson. Yeah. He is out for 2 to 3 months.
Although Hartenstein was doing his best last night.
Well, first off, their replacement, Jericho Sims, sprained his ankle on the opening tip-off. Oh, my gosh. Then the Knicks went to their full lefty squad, where they were playing 4 left-handers at one time with Isaiah Hartenstein, Barrett, Randall, and obviously Jalen Brunson. And they are keeping afloat. The other thing is, if the Knicks played the Lakers in a playoff series, I think the Knicks would easily win, because the Knicks defense is predicated on giving up the 3 and defending the paint, and the Lakers are a bad three-point shooting team. It's a bad matchup for the Lakers, and the Knicks, despite not having their starting center, despite not having their fill-in center, they dominated in the paint last night.
But they need
because the Lakers are a great paint team. They still dominate.
And that's a confidence thing. When you're not able to defend the perimeter, I mean, look what it's birthed of Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle. And I love this idea that you're bringing about this matchup, because you're right. Like, there are just some matchups that the Lakers might lose based off of their construct. But about the Knicks overall, I mean, I see the NBA in this way. You're either underperforming, you are who you are, you're overperforming. And you have to be really happy with what the Knicks are showing as of late. They're overperforming in a way that you feel like this could be who they are. They do need another star to be a contender. But if you're not a contender, you're auditioning to be one, or you're auditioning to find a piece that, makes you to that level. And so I put the Knicks as overperforming, and with like one more star player, they are auditioning to get that guy to become real contenders.
Right. So who is that star in your mind, Zach?
First of all, it can't be a lefty. Too many lefties. I don't trust lefties. You can't have that many lefties
a lefty.
on
Be
the same
nice.
team. It gets a little shady. Too shady. Too many lefties. Look, the complicating thing for the Knicks is, like, on the one hand, when you're searching for top 10 or 15 players, beggars can't be choosers. You can't just wait all the time for the perfect guy, because of 6 months ago, 3 months ago, it was like, maybe it'll be Giannis, maybe it'll be Embiid, and now those situations seem to have calmed down. On the other hand, Jalen Brunson as a score-first, undersized guard is already right on the verge of that top 15 All-NBA conversation. Do you want to add another score-first, semi-undersized, at least if he has to defend twos, guard, like, say, Donovan Mitchell? How additive is that to your team, given you already have a guy in Jalen Brunson averaging 25 a game on almost 50% shooting? I think the Knicks are really good. I'm more bullish on the Knicks than I think you guys are. Can they win 2 rounds in the playoffs? They probably need some luck to do that, some health luck, some matchup luck. But they're tough as hell. And when they get Mitchell Robinson back, their defense and their physicality allows them to kind of ride out the ups and downs of shooting. There's a consistency and a force to them that I think is hard to play against. And I think that's okay. I think they can afford to be patient with this team and not rush to go all in for a superstar who maybe doesn't add so much atop what Jalen Brunson is already giving you.
And that's totally fair. I think it was just in the moments last night when Jalen Brunson was doubled and he would kick it out. How many of those guys did you trust to hit that shot? Obviously, Julius Randle has been playing ever since his ankle got healthy. He wasn't healthy in the postseason last year. It took him a little bit of time this year. Like, those are the questions that you have around the Knicks.
They finished 5th last year. They're in 5th this year.